Hi, katzcradul here. Many of you have sent me links to articles concerning the control of seeds in the European Union, this new bill that is they're trying to pass over there. And I have entitled this video Lunacy Across the Pond. All of my friends in Europe, do not think I am trying to target you, and do not think that lunacy is a disease that's isolated to Europe. It is everywhere, and we're all suffering from lunatics trying to do things to us that are insane. This latest news, if you haven't heard about it, and I'll post this link here to the article in the New American. This article is entitled EU Targets Seeds and Gardeners, Critics Lash Out. But it's all about a bill in the European Union proposing to regulate all seeds. And first it's going to impact commercial growers, and then it'll affect the home gardener. And there has been a public outcry against this. Thousands of people have signed petitions, thousands more will sign, and I'm so glad they're going to fight back and kick back. That's exactly what needs to happen. This article, I love the last line of it, and you can read it. It's all very interesting. But the last part of it says, I'll just read you the last paragraph. Some of the last-minute changes resulting from the public outcry did soften a few of the wildest schemes. Home gardeners, for example, would apparently be allowed to save their own seeds without becoming criminals. They would have become criminals originally, as it was originally written. Small companies with less than 10 employees and seed banks would be exempt from some of the more odious provisions as well. However, according to respected analysts, the proposal is, and this is the part I love, part of a concerted effort to force humanity into total dependence while criminalizing self-reliance. As such, critics say the regulation and other schemes like it must be opposed and stopped. So you can go read that article for yourself. It's very good. This shouldn't surprise you. I mean, really. Does anything surprise you now? When you think about these big companies, and I don't need to name them off again, if I do, you can send me a PM and I'll tell you who they are. You need to do your research, though, so that you know for yourself. There's a handful of big companies that want to control our food supply, and that's what it's about. It's not about safety. I mean, they're saying in this bill, and you have to read past the first 5 pages. The first 5 pages, when you go look at this, are the executive summary, and it's full of lies and mistruths about what's in the actual proposal. So you want to read past that. Anyway, what I was going to say was this is not about keeping us safe. Make no mistake about it. This is about control. And I watched another video today that a friend had put up, and she was saying that you better get your seeds. You better get some heirloom, some great seeds stored away so that you will have them in case, they start pulling this nutty business over here, which of course they will. And she happened to show either a web page or a catalog from Seed Saver Exchange. And I had been meaning to make a video on this anyway. Seed Saver Exchange, I have used them in the past, and I have one of their catalogs in my house. It's not a company I'll use anymore. There was a big stink a couple of years ago when the founders, I think there was a founder, I would have to go back and review it all, and I just don't have time for it. But there was a founder, and I think he brought on a partner or something. They kind of built the business up together, and then there was a falling out. And he accused the other partner of selling out to Big Agra, and since then I think they have pushed him out altogether, and they have given lots of seeds to the seed bank in Norway, that big international seed bank in Svalbard, Norway, the one that if things go wrong with mankind, or if there's a global catastrophe or something, that all plant life in seed form is saved in this seed bank, and they could reseed the earth, and we could grow a new food supply and all that baloney. Anyway, if you think their intent is to to restock the world in seeds and to send these seeds back to the people that sent them to them in case there is a catastrophe in an area or something. I think you're sadly mistaken. But anyway, you can go, if you haven't read about that, you need to read about it. There's even pictures of this big seed vault that's chiseled out of ice, was chiseled out of ice at great expense. But anyway, there is a connection between Seed Saver Exchange and the seed bank. They have given lots of seeds to them, and once those seeds are given to the seed bank, basically you write off control of those seeds. And so to believe that those seeds are really going to come back to the people who originally donated those seeds to Seed Saver Exchange, I think is a real stretch. I became most alarmed. In fact, I'm gonna link a story here for you where you can read. I think the name of the blog is Volatility. I like this guy, though. He writes about lots of things I'm interested in reading about. You need to read, and he wrote this in 2011. You need to read what he wrote about this. I mean, it's like espionage and drama when you talk about this fallout that happened at Seed Savers Exchange. You really need to go read it, though. And I have come to the same conclusions he came to. So go check that out. I'll post the link for you below. And I'll tell you, when I first found out about all this was back in August of 11 when I smelled a rat. And the rat I smelled was the news stories talking about that Obama was going to give a speech from in front of this barn at Seed Savers Exchange. And I remember when I heard it, I stood up and said, "You've got to be kidding." He is totally against everything that seed savers say they stand for. And since then, I have come to learn that they stand for some things that I don't exactly believe in, and I believe they're involved in some things I wouldn't want to be involved in and wouldn't want to support. But there may be some of you out there who are like me. When you saw the president giving a speech in front of Seed Savers Exchange, you made the decision, like I did, that was the last dime I would send to those folks. My preference is to give my money to rareseeds.com, also known as Baker Creek Seed Company. They have an excellent catalog of beautiful heirloom seeds from all over the world. They are great to do business with. If you open up his catalog, usually the first page in there is a letter from Jarrett, the owner, who will say that they will do everything within their power to fight Monsanto and fight the other companies who want to monopolize our food supply. I totally agree with all of you who say you better get your little seed vault yourself. You better get your little heirloom seeds stored away. I totally agree with that. If you haven't done that, then that should be priority one for you to ensure your continued ability to produce a food supply. But the seeds are not enough, as I discussed on the Homestead Honey Hour this past week, and I will post a link for that as well if you were not able to be at that show. The whole show was devoted to things I learned in just this past year gardening. Now, I have gardened since I was a child, and I have gardened my own garden my whole adult life. I have always had a garden, and I learn something every single year, and I think you may be shocked at how much I just learned last year. But it happens every year I garden. I learn new things, and I keep a journal of what I learn, and because I'm getting older and I forget those kind of things. So if you think you're just going to go out and have seeds and you're going to store them away, when the time comes that you can't buy the kind of food you want to buy at the grocery store, and I think that's fast approaching for many of us, if you think you're just going to go in and pull those seeds out, not ever having gardened before, and you're going to cast them into your less than perfect soil, and you're going to be able to sit back and wait a couple of months and then reap a luscious harvest and supply your dinner table with food, I think you're sadly mistaken. Even further than that, I mean, you may be able to do that after a couple of years, but if you have never practiced the art of saving your own seed, collecting your seed, drying your seed, storing your seed, that's a whole nother ball game. That goes way above and beyond gardening, and I really recommend that you get on the ball. At least find your feet, stand up, kick back when people try to begin to implement things that are not for our good. Until next time, this is Cat's Cradle.